Good afternoon. It is February the 10th, 2016. Time to wrap it up. We came into today's market with a bias to the upside. We like that because of Yellen. And we didn't think Yellen would say anything that would hurt the stock market. Little did we know. But Yellen releases her statement right here. It's not overtly dovish, and the market sells. All of the negativity in that statement was absorbed in this round of selling. Yellen gets close to her testimony in Congress, and the market covers up their shorts and runs into it. Yellen picks up the mic for Q&A. And then we get back to regular trading. So if you didn't want to get involved in all this trading right here, Yellen has spoken. It's out. 1, 2. No trade on that B. This S is a loser. This B is a winner. If you're just going to monkey trade, S plus, B scratch, B winner. Those B's would be winners too. This S loser, S winner. So on and so forth. So it's pretty good trading if you just take the trades that are there. And that's what, I don't know what's coming next. And nobody does. What I do know, though, is if I take good trades and our methodology is proven and the setups are proven, there's going to be money in the account at the end of the day or the accounting period or whenever. And when I become selective, then that's when I get into trouble, as everybody does. I mean, we all like to think we can predict the future. We can do a pretty good job of assessing it, but it's not 100% certain. So that's where we are. Okay, higher low, higher high. F1 screen says we can buy it or sell failure to take out today's highs. F2 screen definitely has the look and shape of a B like it has had. And that favors the sell side. If we do an M split right here, may have started a new distribution out of the middle lower. If you believe the fundamentals and you read them and all this stuff that's going on around the world right now, you would not be long the indexes off of fundamentals. And Yellen's, I thought Yellen's commentary today was accommodative. We're going to raise interest rates when we can, but we'll lower them if we have to. So that's where we are. JP Morgan thinks we're going to a negative interest rate policy in the United States before it's all said and done. So looking at our F2 screen right here, if the market was to close right here at 52, we've got volume at 59. We've got this little ledge at 55. So if we were to close right here, we'd be selling 55s to 60s. Then 64s to 69s. On the buy side, we got volume down at 47. Then we got the VWAP down here at 42. Got a little volume at 48. So our first buy for Globex would be 40, 45. Then 30, 35. Not much news tomorrow. Jobless claims. Yeah, definitely maybe 33. I wouldn't argue that at all, Chris. Actually, I'd make it like 30, not 33. 281 Bloomberg Comfort Index I want to look at. Natural gas inventories. Probably about minus 150. That's a guess. I haven't seen the consensus estimates. So the news focus will be jobless claims. So in our quest to find something that is infallible, that's right every time we pull the trigger, I'm just telling you to change your orientation, change your thinking on that. You can't do that. Well, I'm just going to work harder than anybody else has ever done. Well, I know people that have been looking for the answer for years, And at some point, you just have to say, screw it. I'm going to learn how to trade what I've got. And I know I'm going to do just fine. Won't be perfect, but I will put money into the account on a regular basis. And that's where you have to take yourself. And it can be done, but there will be fits and starts when you're doing it. And it certainly will be a very growthful experience. Just what I need, Charlie, more growth. We used to whine to Pete Stedelmeyer, can we ever take a trade without having to manage it? And Pete would laugh. Okay, lower high, lower low, strong close here on the note. Can sell failure to take out today's highs. We don't want to be short if the bottom is falling out of the E-mini. We have a P before the auction. There we are. We're at resistance. We know they have to move. They have to move the market up and down to get rid of the paper. So we're going to sell failure to take out 16 to 20 and 23.27. And on the buy side, the auction was at 31.05. The last rotate down was 9, so 5 to 9 will be buy 1. And if the E-mini is selling, it'll take 13s, 12s or 13s to get into. And then 29s to 01s for buy 2. Looking at the 30-year, what a market. We're going to sell failure to take out 67, 67.04. A big one, isn't it? And then 11s to 15s. And again, if the E-mini is selling heavily overnight, we just don't want to be short. We're going to have to pay up to get long. The auction came at 11. Last rotate down was 22. We're currently at 30. So 17 to 21 buy 1. I think we're going to find sellers in London. And 5 to 9 will be buy 2. And looking at gold, lower high, lower low, but we're really hanging in here well. So I just don't see. I still think we're on the buy side of the market with failure to take out 95 to 1200 even. So this one says we can sell it. Pretty strong P, getting stops above today's highs, so we'll put 98 to the buck out. And then 5 to 7 for sell 2. On the buy side, pretty good support at 90, so 89 to 91 buy 1. 85, 87 buy 2. Yes, you may send me a picture, Chris. Back to trading. I think each of us needs to get 3 or 4 things that we can recognize patterns as they are forming, that we've got confidence enough to trade, which means we've got to go back and examine those particular patterns and formations and see how they work. Okay, lower high on crude, lower low, and then we've got to work it. We've got to figure out how to do it. And we got this wonderful feature called playback. Everybody's got simulated trading, but we've got playback where you can go back in and select different periods to look at. Periods you traded well, periods you traded poorly. Better yet, periods you can't remember. They're just brand new. And then go back and play them 5 to 7 times normal speed. So you react. You don't think about it. You just put the trades on. Okay, here we are at 63. So 25 to 50 is buy one. That's where support is. 70. Let's make it 28 and a quarter. Sell 1. 50 to 75. Sell 2. And then 26.75, 27, buy 2. Couple of things that really I didn't like to see in the Middle East, and Saudi Arabia sending ground troops, be the elite ground troops to Syria to help the United States fight ISIS. Well, that means you're fighting Syria and Russia. And you got to remember, we are the ones that created ISIS, ISIL, whatever you want to call them, by taking Libyan munitions and smuggling them into Syria and actually training some of these people. Blowback by the people that we trained and taught, right? I mean, you just could not dream up a just worse outcome, worse management, worst oversight, worse strategic thinking. It doesn't get any worse than what governments do. And Republicans governments do it too. Eventually in war, what wins is who makes more bullets and who has more manpower and who has more money. They win it. And there's in the Peloponnesian Wars, Athens went to war with Sparta because they had 6,000 talents of silver and gold in their treasury, so they could afford it. And they knew they would be going to Sparta sometime in the future. So we got enough money right now. Let's do it. Their existence wasn't threatened, nothing. So they didn't have the will to win. They didn't have the Sparta because they were attacked. Smaller forces, less resources, less munitions, less alliances, and the rest of it. Eventually they win that war because they're fighting for their very existence. And so you can't get started in wars without the will to win and do what it takes to win at all costs. And it's pretty ugly stuff. CCAI at Southwestern Bell, SWBELL.net. But wars are nothing to be taken lightly. So here we have Saudi Arabia sending troops. We get stories of Turkey sending more troops to the border. And Turkey's already moved into Syria in spots. And of course the journalists will paint it as World War such and such. But this is not good. And that could affect the price of oil. Okay, looking at the euro, it did sell off this morning's news, then it came back very, very strong. So we had rejected prices basically above 20 90, 112.90. That's where we find ourselves. So our first sell is 1300, sell 1, sell 2, 25. On the buy side, 25. I think we're going to get stops above 1300. And right here's 50. Excuse me, that's buy 1 is at 50. Buy 2 is at 25. And that's it for February the 10th, 2016. I will see you bright and early in the morning. Y'all have a great evening. It's supposed to get close to 60 degrees today and then drop back down into the mid 40s tomorrow. So that cold front is moving into the east. Y'all have a great evening.